This is A.B. Harris. You know, it's pretty interesting that a lot of people believe that if something is meant to be, that it won't be tested, or if this is from God, then I shouldn't be experiencing any trouble. And that is an error. Think about it. The Bible says a wise man built his house upon the rock. The foolish man built his house upon the sand. Why would the Bible say that? It's because the two foundations eventually will be tested by the waves. It will be tested by the storm. It will be tested by the heat. It will be tested by many different things. You know, foundation go through many different tests, whether they want to be soil tests, pressure tests, you know, gravity tests. You think about the different tests that a foundation can go through. It's the same thing with marriage. Your marriage will go through different tests. And I want you to picture this illustration in your mind. Think about two pieces of clay and you're putting them together. If you're putting two pieces of clay together to make one, it's going to take pressure. It's going to be squeezed. It's going to be pulled. You name it. The two pieces of clay are becoming one clay. And that it goes through a process of pressure and different type of processes. That's what marriage is. Many people believe that if this is a marriage from God, or if this is good, then you shouldn't be going through this, and that is an error, my friend. I've come to realize that marriage come to test many different things in your life, and the things that you didn't even see in you are being tested. Many people think that, oh, the marriage is showing me what's wrong with the other person. But sorry, my friend, it's showing you what's wrong with you. It's showing you the things that are in you that you didn't even understand. It's showing you the things that are in you that needs to go. Marriage will test your capacity to love. It will test your capacity of patience. It will test how much resistance is in you when different things are happening in that marriage. Many people said, oh, before we were married, life was good, it was this and it was that. But now the two clays are being pressed together to become one clay, and that process will take a while. It takes time to be perfected. The foundation that you build that marriage on will be tested by different things. The storms of life will come, trouble will arise. The things will get hot. The heat will come and test it. The waves will test it. Many things will test that foundation, but it boils down to what you do in the end. You hear the clock going off. Time will test that foundation. The greatest test that foundation goes through is time. It's time. And don't forsake your marriage because you feel like, it's going through so much things. I don't know what to do now. I can't take this anymore. That's a time when your capacity is being enlarged and you're being strengthened. Because the things you go through in your marriage prepares you in life itself, and it changes you. And if you can submit yourself, that your eyes are open to see what God wants to get out of you. Some people are selfish. Many selfish people get married. Many people get married for many different reasons. And when the test comes, then they feel like, I need to leave this marriage. It's crazy that people are saying that I'm not in love with this person anymore. Love is not a feeling that switches on and off. Love is literally God. God is who gives love. Love is patient. Love is kind. It is long suffering. It envieth not. It vaunteth not. My Jesus, let me tell you this. Marriage is beautiful. And don't think for a second that because my marriage is being tested that it's not of God. That's a time that you know who your marriage is of. If it is of God, then you call upon God. Then you turn to God. You don't turn to people. You know what's so interesting? A water test. When you build something and you see if water can get into it, many times that water represents people trying to get into your marriage. If you allow people to get into that marriage, then it will fall apart. You have to make sure that when every test comes, the marriage is able to stand. Now, when that clay is fully pressed together and pushed together and put through the fire and is perfected, it's a beautiful vessel that comes forth. That beautiful vessel is your marriage. Now there's a thing called unequal yoke. Can you imagine trying to press glass and clay together? That's one crazy thing to do. Trying to put two different things together. That's what unequal yoke look like. Somebody who's look like a clay married to somebody who look like a glass. I know these two things are trying to make some vessel. It's gonna make things even worse because there's not the right particles are not there for the two things to blend together. That's what causes a lot of problem with people in marriage. Unequal yoke. So start the right way, start on the right foundation. But remember that when it is being tested, this is a time to prove what foundation you're built on. This is a time to prove whether or not indeed the foundation is of God or if there's something else. This is a time that it brings out in you the reason why you are married. So marriage is a beautiful thing. Don't be fooled and don't be unwise. Don't give up on your marriage when the test comes. Don't forsake the one you make a covenant with and a commitment to when these tests comes. But rather go through the storms together. Seek the face of God and ask Him to help. Don't build your marriage on the sand. Build it on the rocks, for then it will last. God bless you.